hate it when this happens. Oh well. Next exit. YouTube, what's up? What up? Here we are, back after a little absence of not uploading anything for like a week. And third video in, I guess that's not a very good track record. However, we're going to be doing more. Had a little bit of a snag. Not going to get too much into it, mostly because I'm not really sure what to think of it, but we'll see in time. That much I can say. We'll see where things go in time. So I wanted to address a couple things. One, say a little bit more about this thing, and two, talk about my current endeavor, what it is I'm going after. But at the moment, you know, I keep stopping for fuel. I need fuel. I keep looking back on my video going, man, I kind of like, am I asleep on this thing or something? Like, what's going on? So I'm gonna go get some vlog fuel. Oh, there is a place to park, okay. Hey, that's a sexy bike. All right, I never drink these, but we're gonna see how it goes. I have a feeling I'm gonna be flying off the walls, but let's find out. All right. Whoop. Live. What is going on with this thing? All right. Took me a second to figure out I needed to use the action button. Now, I don't remember the last time I had an energy drink, but it's been a while. So we're gonna find out what that's gonna do. I said before, this is a 1991 FXRS convertible that I love dearly. It's got milled heads, so I get a little bit more compression. I believe it has some kind of aftermarket street cam. The name that keeps popping up is Crane. It came with a sheet of things that were done to it, and I have not seen that in a long time. I'm trying to think of what else has been done to this. Oh, I have an oil cooler. I don't know if I can see it from here. Maybe just a tip. I'll do a walk around later. It's got an oil cooler. Got some opened exhaust. They're not drag pipes, but they are pretty loud. It's not a whole lot. It's oh, and an S&S carb and air cleaner. I don't like the S&S. It's a great carb. I mean, it works. It makes power. This thing's a 42 millimeter, but it's kind of a brute force carb. And it would be great for drag racing. Just slamming it open and making some tracks, but this is a street motorcycle. People don't usually ride street motorcycles like that. Besides, smaller carbs work better at lower RPM, don't they? I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not young enough to know everything anymore. But it's my thought that the higher you can get your intake speed, the more evenly the fuel and air mix, and the more consistent your detonations are going to be, the more power you're going to get out of each mixture, because it's all going to be more even. And I sure hope drinking that energy drink doesn't make me trip over my own thoughts or get me talking really fast, make me sound like I'm some kind of a tweaker, because I could see that happening. In fact, I'm starting to feel kind of like that's about to happen anyway. So I've had this thing for like 2 years, I want to say. 2 years, 2 semesters, I don't know, the time just keeps blurring together. I'm trying to keep up with this whole passing of time thing, and it's, you know, getting away from me. But so yeah, I think I've had this thing for about 2 years. And when I got it, I probably put about 10,000 miles on it. But I'd like to go back to the stock CV carburetor. I think it would serve my purposes a little better. And I just like the slide carbs better than the butterfly carbs. Nothing against the butterfly carbs. Some of you guys out there make them work real well, but I can't seem to get the thing to behave properly. Other than the fact that I am, in fact, going down the road at the moment. That's a plus. and slow people. And a truck. God, this thing's fun. So I've been thinking about what I want to get. And I mentioned before, I keep bouncing around. I'm thinking about a Sportster, I'm thinking about a sport bike, and I'm thinking about a Magna. There's other things that have been proposed. I've gotten offers for things, but those are the ones that really have got my interest. On one hand, I love this thing, I like what it does, and I feel like that would be appropriate for me to get something that, you know, a light, cheaper, fun thing. Sportster. You can pick one up for probably $4 grand, $3 grand, $4 grand. Great bike. They're reliable. You can beat the crap out of them. They're fast. They're nimble. But here's the problem. I'm not rich. 3-4 grand. That's a lot for me. Like a lot. And so, let's see. Is he going to turn around? Nope. Between $3,000 and $4,000 is a lot of money for me. I'm really looking to get something closer to $2,000. So, the Sportster is going to be a little bit beyond my reach, realistically speaking. And same goes for the V-Rod. The V-Rod is a great bike. Those things are really quick. They got the Porsche helped design the motor on those, I believe. So the problem with the V-Rod is they don't turn like smaller bikes. It's a highway bike. It's for doing this. Whether you want to do 80 or 130 or... I don't think that bike really cares how fast you want to go. It just wants to go. And they do turn. I mean, no point in having a motorcycle that doesn't turn. But they don't turn like something like this. They're not going to be as nimble as an FXR. Not many cruisers are. And on top of that, they're ridiculously expensive. I don't think I've seen one for less than $8 grand used. It's ridiculous. The new prices of new Harleys is over the top, in my opinion, for what you're getting. And the name itself has got way, way, way too much value put on it. I'm not stuck on the name. Hence why I'm considering, hey, why don't we look at like a Magna or a sport bike? Which brings me to my next likely idea. A 600 class sport bike. Now, 600s are fast, and anything is fast enough to get in trouble on. But I don't think they're over the top. I've ridden 600s, I've ridden the ZX9, I've ridden the Concourse 14, all very different animals. But I did notice the 600 didn't really encourage me to be a complete idiot. I had plenty of get out of the way power, I had plenty of fun power. Those things would turn on a dime and pick it up if you asked them to. But it was like, it was a sane, capable machine, in my opinion. Especially the one I'm looking at is the ZZR 600, which is more of a sport touring thing than an actual like race bike. I keep saying like, is it apparent I'm from California? Welcome to California, folks. And the 600 class sport bikes, they last forever. They're fun. I could probably have more fun going and meeting up with people who ride around me, who own sport bikes and like to go do sport bike things. And I try to keep up on this thing, but I mean, let's be real here. It's capable, but it's a Harley. And it's not going to turn as hard as a sport bike. And if I drop it, it gets very expensive. And good luck finding parts for these. I mentioned that before. These things are hard to find OEM parts for. I don't want an S&S bike. I wouldn't mind having a few S&S parts, but it's a Harley. I want to use Harley stuff. I'm returning to the K&C V carb. That's what they put on these from the factory. They work great. Something's going on with this thing, and I don't like it. I figured I'd do some of my talking. Ideally my ranting and raving about the one I'm most excited and most interested in getting in a little bit more of a scenic and enjoyable area. Unfortunately, where I live is a little farm town, so everything is straight, everything's a grid, and there's no corners, there's no curves, there's no valleys. So we go here today. Something is definitely off with this motorcycle. So this loop, it goes from Winters, the town we just passed through, around and squiggles about and turns and switchbacks and fun, and winds up in Vacaville, which straddles where I'm from. And it's just a quick jaunt up one of the freeways towards my town, Dixon, where we've got the oldest fair in, I don't know, is it California or the country? The Dixon Mayfair has been around for a while, and there's usually park rangers here. I went fishing here. Actually, this is where I started fishing and where I stopped fishing. I was a little kid. I was getting into fishing. I was having fun with it. I had no idea what I was doing. I spent a bunch of money on this fancy lure that was not at all suitable for what's in that water. And I went to go put it on my line because I was going to try out my new fancy lure. I went to tie it onto the string and I dropped it down the grate into the water. Total waste. I haven't fished since. So the one I'm really interested in looking at, one I'm probably going to wind up with, well, the one I'd really like to wind up with, but a 1994 end-up Honda Magna, which I mentioned earlier in an earlier video. I just got hit in the head with a bug. But like I said, it's a V4. They're more powerful than this thing. I think they're about as agile. I found one for $1,800 on Craigslist, and I'm thinking I might snag that. But on the other hand, there's another one for $2,000 that comes with a trailer and bags, and I don't need a trailer and bags, so I might talk to the guy and see if he can take less. If you've never heard a Honda Magna straight piped, you have to. I know straight pipes don't work quite as well as baffled pipes, and I've done a lot of looking on that. I found it doesn't actually have anything to do with back pressure. But if you haven't heard that, you have to. I'm going to post a link to an example in the description that I think is really representative of what I'm going for in a sound. This is just too much fun. Whoa. That was kind of sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. Wow, this road is bumpy. What's going on here? Oh wait, it straightens out. Maybe I can get around him. Yes! I don't remember this road as well as I used to. When I was younger, I could fly through here. So I'm pretty fired up about this whole Magna business, but I found a ZZR 600 that looked pretty interesting. I'll talk to him. But either way, I really want to get something else. Ooh. What the hell? Okay, that's a problem. Do I have something in my tire? problem. Now I'm fucking pissed.